Hello everyone and welcome to episode 165 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week I am joined by Cameron.
Hello, how are we?
And Char.
Hello everybody.
And I'm Matt as always. This week, I don't know what we're going to be talking about. We got a little bit of news going on. Turns out the rumors around this whole Elder Scrolls Oblivion thing turned out to be like 100% real and like not actually bullshit like we were predicting.
Yeah, totally the biggest surprise Xbox could ever drop, right?
Bullshit?
Well, I don't know. We've been hearing that it's been coming for the last since the leak, the court documents leaked like 2 years ago or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And it's been like, oh, it's happening, and then they're like, oh, it's going to shadow drop, which again still sounds insane, but we'll get into it. And there's a few other bits and pieces going on, but yeah.
I was going to say, before we move on from that adds validity to the Fallout 3 remaster.
There is a rumor that apparently Bethesda are working on other remakes as well, so the Fallout one is probably next. Yeah, that would make sense.
There was also the Ghostwire Tokyo 2 one, which I imagine would have died with
Tango Gameworks.
Yeah.
Probably not surprising. I don't think that game sold well enough to really get a sequel going, to be honest. Let me put it this way. If they couldn't greenlight Hi-Fi Rush 2, they definitely weren't going to do a Ghostwire Tokyo. Just no way. But yeah, how you guys doing? Been a couple of weeks since you guys been on. What have you been up to? Cameron, your boots are made for walking?
Yeah, I've been walking everywhere. I've been working on high ratio achievements. What was that?
How are your souls going?
My feet really hurt right now.
Yeah.
I have a blister on my right foot, and I've still managed to do 40,000 steps today. So,
I mean, well, I guess we'll check back to you. You just have to, yeah. That I will be very curious to see how you keep that up.
Yeah. I went to the to the beach for a walk this morning. Did 6,000 steps, and then went to the markets this evening. Got maybe up to 10,000 for the total day. I don't know what you've been doing.
I woke up at 4 a.m., could not sleep again, and decided just to do laps.
Look, sleepwalking doesn't count, mate. That's not fair. You can't be sleepwalking and out of those numbers.
If I've got my phone on me, it's counting the steps. It's still
unbelievable.
Counts, right? So, just to give you an idea, let me bring it up. So, I've done a few different things this week, right? So, when I had Persephone last week, there was 3 days that I only did about 5,000 steps, and I felt a bit guilty for letting that drop behind. I've started watching a lot of content that's just like, why do we say 10,000 steps a day, originating from marketing from Japan?
Japan, yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, 7,500 is a more realistic number. But I'm like, all right, well, maybe I can push myself to do 10 or 15,000 steps a day. And as each day goes past, I'm just finding it much easier to keep going. Like, I've noticed an improvement in my health over the last 2 weeks. And now I even started doing it obviously I've got my wedding in 6 months, so I want to lose weight for the wedding. Start doing a food diary today. Like, I've exercised like 4,000 calories today and only consumed 1,050.
That's great.
So
that's amazing. Yeah.
Well, I had market food, which completely counteracted.
I was going to say, so you actually need to be walking while we're talking.
Actually, I did today. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I should be walking while we're doing this.
Yeah. No,
so just to give you an idea of my week, though, I think Monday was the 14th. Yeah. So 30,000 Monday, 15,000 Tuesday, 22,500 Wednesday, 20,000 Thursday, and 42,000 so far today. I'm going to try and get 50 before I go to sleep tonight, but we'll see how we go. I've noticed so much better mental clarity, and I mean, like, Monday I was working 3 jobs.
Sure.
And I still managed to get 30,000 steps in. Like, I was awake at 4 a.m. on Monday morning, and I was completely fine until like 11:30 at night.
And now you just need to do your ice bath and put the banana on your face and just kind of all that sort of stuff and get the tape off the mouth.
Cucumber, eel, all that kind of stuff.
It's got full American Psycho.
Oh, jeez. What else was I going to say? But no, I've mostly just, like, I've been getting my achievement hunting in, I've been working, and then I think past that, just been exercising and just working towards the wedding. Like, pretty much, I've made smart choices. Like, obviously I work in social media and that. If I need to browse TikTok and that for ideas, rather than just sitting there browsing on my phone, I'll go for a walk and browse.
Yeah, nice.
Because I may as well be using that time to get steps. But
I mean, realistically, right? Like, if you're exercising at all, you're beating most people. Like, that's the thing, is that just like,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about.
I mean, I've always just put in the too hard camp.
Sure, yeah, you're
Essentially,
gonna try and make the time. I know what you mean, though. I've been trying to get a little bit better about that. And
If I've been completely slack, I'm lucky to get 3,000 steps, like just
for sure. Yeah.
So.
I mean, the other thing too is, like, as achievement hunters, we're highly competitive, and when I was talking to Miss Cannon and Ireland and all that group of friends before, we were discussing an app called Step Up the other day, which obviously for the Xbox Cast April Achievement Challenge, we're sending our steps in every night, and then Simone is like calculating it up and comparing each other on a graph that gets updated daily. But the Step Up app lets us just measure in real time how many steps everybody's done.
Yeah, assuming you have your phone on you, which
Assuming you have your phone, yeah.
Welcome to 2025.
Any outside data at all.
Yeah. I've been really debating lately of just like, do I just get rid of my phone altogether? Not altogether, but get a smartwatch and just pair that with the earpods and use that for working.
Well,
because I hate carrying it. But... Sorry, what was that?
What phone brand do you have?
Samsung.
Is it?
S23 or 24? I can't remember.
Yeah, well, the Samsung phones, if you can get a slightly older model at a decent price, you could they're great. I've got a 4, I think. So, and it does everything that you'd probably want it to do. So, yeah. But, they just get really, really expensive, and you really have to get something older if you want to, they're XE in price, like upwards $700 something sometimes.
Well, yeah, the watches that I want, probably want to do a 4-year plan, and that's why I'm like...
Well, you just wait till the next phone comes out, and you get one free with the phone, basically. They give those away when you upgrade to, pre-order their phone, if you
They want you with the wearables, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. They want you in the ecosystem, because, you get the Samsung... I've got the Samsung Buds, the watch, and the phone.
Yeah, I got a Samsung TV as well. They fucking got me on everything.
Yeah, I've got the Buds, I got the phone, but I just don't have the wearable.
Yeah. All right. And Kia, what about you? What are you up to?
Not a whole lot. I've got a lot of time during the week. I could be doing a lot more with it, but it's mostly just browsing for jobs and stuff like that. And doing any kind of fitness stuff I can. But yeah, so it's been kind of an up and down couple of weeks, so not a whole lot. But yeah.
I went to the circus this afternoon. That was an interesting one. There was just like straight up, was driving by the other day and they're like, yeah, circus. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go to the circus. Why not? It was pretty good, actually. I mean, it was a lot of stuff that I've seen before, right? Like how many original circus acts are there these days? And of course they don't use animals anymore because that's cruel, which I agree with. But yeah, they did the sphere of death thing where they get a bunch of motorcycles driving around there, and they had a human cannibal. He got shot across the room. That was fun. There was someone doing the two ribbons thing attached to the ceiling, but the way we were sitting was basically positioned so there was a cage right in front of us, so we couldn't see anything. But I'm sure it was great. But overall, it was pretty good, actually. There was a contortionist who shot a balloon with a bow and arrow using her feet. That was very impressive. I would recommend. I actually, I enjoyed it.
Well, I had an opportunity to go to something like that last weekend. A couple of friends went to something called Lasso.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so they got to see all kinds of stuff, like helicopter twirling penises and all kinds of stuff. So
as you do, yeah.
It was real fun. So I'm like, real shame I didn't miss that. So But apparently,
I mean,
yeah,
mate, you're looking
the
for a job.
one-
Like that sounds like I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, yeah,
when opportunity comes a knocking.
yeah.
Put one and one together. Yeah. It's funny. I've only ever been to one circus in my life, and it was one of those car park ones that just do it with the trained cats.
Oh yeah, that's fun. I like that too. But
I think that was like would have been like 20. It would have been like 10, 11 years ago.
sure, yeah.
But you've just made me come to the realization that us guys in the country, we don't get circus out here. We get like your monster truck.
Oh, I mean, still, I'm still super on board for that. You fucking kidding me? Sunday.
Yeah.
Tickets are just $5.
I'm like, when was the last time I saw a circus advertisement? It's like,
well, that's the thing is that like I happened to be like in my part of town and just kind of saw the big top and I was like, oh, all right. And it turns out like I was looking it up and it's the same circus company that I used to go to when I was like 10 years old or whatever. So it's been like 20 years. And they're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to a circus like since like pre-COVID. I've been to like 3 or 4, just kind of like over the years. And again, like some of the same people even. I think they have some like recurring talent and that sort of stuff. And some of the bits I kind of, like I said, recognized. Like they do like sort of like comedy skit stuff in between the big acts, obviously to set things up and things like that. But it was pretty good. Like 2 hours. It was like $60 a ticket. Like it was pretty good.
I wonder in this day and age, like how many more people are just growing up and being like, yes, I want to be part of the circus.
I was talking with Alison about this. I was like the reason I probably recognize some of these people is because like how many contortionists do you know who are available in New Zealand who can shoot a bow and arrow with their feet? And it's like, well, we've got one, so they're probably just going to go and do every circus in the circuit, right? Like they're like, yeah, we have the person. But yeah, it's funny to think about like how that talent. I'm so curious how like the back end of that works in terms of like the talent and how this all set up and how do you fucking join a circus? Like how do you audition?
A podcast on that.
Yes.
Like I want a podcast that tells me like how do you become like the bearded lady in the circus?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Be like exactly where it's like okay, it's like yes, okay. What kind of trials do I need to be an acrobat? All right, it's like how many times am I allowed to fall off before they get rid of me? Like all these things. I feel like it would be like that really great documentary that they did around the Renaissance Fair one, which if you haven't seen it, go and fucking watch it. It's like a 3-part documentary, and it is the most insane Game of Thrones level political bullshit over a goddamn Renaissance Fair. It is incredible. Yeah, definitely.
All right, please put it in the Discord after.
I will put it in the Discord after. We might even have like a watch party. And yes, I know we're massively off topic. We do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Holder Gamers is the place to find us. I haven't even got to that bit yet. We're going to get straight into the news because we've been gas bagging for fucking like what 20 minutes already. So
that's okay.
Cameron, you found us some news this week. What have you got on the docket?
All right, we'll start off with the big story. Xbox April update adds stream your own game support for Xbox consoles. Finally.
About time. This is what Phil Spencer promised, what, a year ago?
Yeah, I think this was already out in Alpha Ring for insiders, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
yeah, so the Xbox April 2025 update is a biggie, packing in a ton of features for Xbox consoles and the mobile app, including the addition of the Stream Your Own Game Library on Xbox Series X and S and the Xbox One. Yes, essentially allows you to stream your own game library directly from your consoles. You won't need to download compatible games to your console if you don't want to, and can load straight into them via Xbox Cloud Gaming. Additionally, Microsoft has expanded its Xbox Remote Play feature, which now can be accessed on the device via the Remote Play website. The feature has been removed from the Xbox app on mobile, however, so you'll need to use the website if you want to play the games installed on your Xbox console on another device. Microsoft says by unifying Xbox Remote Play and Xbox Cloud Gaming on Xbox.com, we're able to support more devices, open access to the store on the Xbox app on mobile, and make it easier for our teams to optimize the streaming experience and build new features going forward. I think there was also the update of the store on mobile, which allows you to now buy games and add on content again.
Finally.
Yep, good. Join Game Pass for mobile, redeem perks via the app with a full rollout planned for soon. The buy button will be displayed on game pages if you have your payment details saved, making it easier to purchase new titles or in-game content. I guess going back to the first story already, like the main benefits are, obviously as games get bigger, if your internet can support cloud streaming and all that, the advantage of not using up hardware storage. And then I think outside of that, if you don't want to upgrade to an Xbox Series X, you're still on the old generation Xbox One.
Yeah.
You can buy games, you can buy Series X games and that and still be able to play them.
Yeah, which is perfect for me because when your Xbox Series console shits itself, like mine did, I can go back to my day one 2013 Xbox One and still play my Series games that I bought that I have access to. So.
And it really does feel like that's the vision Microsoft have been talking about for a while now. So it's nice that it's kind of coming out and they're going like, yeah, you don't have to buy the box. You can kind of play anywhere, as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
Last feature of it was like all players on console will now be able to access game hubs, which will show relevant information about a game such as player stats, achievements, recent captures, your friends who are playing available DLC, which we talked about, I think, probably a month ago now.
Yeah.
I noticed today when I was playing Marvel Rivals, have you guys seen the event? I don't want to say tab, the event icon on the when you bring the overlay up.
I don't think so.
No.
So when I was in, I think it was the party section of the overlay, right?
Yeah.
Down the very bottom under, it was like the second bottom tab. There was an event tab. And then if you click on it, it tells you the current event going on in the game. So obviously Marvel Rivals has...
Oh, so there's some sort of API hook in that. That's really clever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it was just an API that just let me know, there's recently been an update and this was what to expect with skins and that. So
Nice.
Yeah, you know what? They should make a delisted, soon-to-be delisted tab.
That's actually a fucking good idea.
Advance, right?
It's like it triggers if they hit a dangerously low concurrent player count. It's like warning, potential delisting imminent.
But that's pretty much it for that update. But I think that's
great.
Just adding more options for gamers. I know that the mobile stuff has been a long time coming.
Yeah, they're still trying to move into that space for like the true mobile space, but I guess they're still butting heads against like Google and Apple for that.
I know back when I used to work retail and all that, and when you guys would put a post in the Discord saying, "Hey, this game is free at the moment," I'd try and jump on that stuff, and it was a pain in the ass to log through browser.
Yeah.
User experience has sucked for that for a long time. Any kind of mobile stuff.
Yeah. Well, back when they had payments on the app, there was a 30. I was on a job, a cleaning job, and there was a 30-minute window where there was a package with all of the Resident Evil games that popped up. You guys remember that one?
I got that one.
And it was super cheap too.
It was
like
$5 or
all
something.
of the games still it was so cheap. And if that never happened, I would if the ability to pay wasn't there, I would have never been able to jump on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just you're out and about, something pops up, you kind of grab it. It's just a great opportunity to get people kind of as they're thinking about stuff too. So
yeah, I definitely agree. I'll take this next one. It's probably a quick one here, but apparently the new Star Wars Outlaws DLC, which is their second DLC pack that was on their roadmap, apparently is leaked. Yep. It's their a Pirate's Fortune thing going on, and apparently it's coming out next month, which is actually sooner than I was expecting. So yeah, looking.
It was originally rumored for April, right?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I think so because it was April, May, because it's May, so I guess that makes sense.
Sense, May.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking this was going to be more towards the end of the year, but I'm also not sure how big a DLC this is actually going to be.
Yeah, and they wouldn't want them on Star Wars any longer than they'd have to be at this point, really.
True. But I'm sure they do want to try and squeeze some money out of it, considering how badly it sold originally. But yeah, apparently the trailer went up early. It was supposed to come up at the Star Wars Celebration event tomorrow. But we're getting a few leaks out of that Celebration event. It's like a fucking sieve over there. But I suppose that's not super surprising. But yeah. You guys excited? Looks good. Hondo Onaka's in it.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the game, so I'm really interested to see what they do. But I'll probably just get Ubisoft Plus for a month. Might get around to doing Shadows, and then
I have to get back up again for that. So
actually, talking about Ubisoft, this this is pretty much it for this news story.
Pretty much.
Did you guys see the Skull and Bone stuff this week?
Yeah, they've got a whole new season
Okay.
planned, and it actually looks pretty good. Like it looks like they're not cutting ties from that game at all. They are pushing ahead. They got like land combat. Yeah, like it's actually turning into a game. Color me fucking surprised. I don't think they'll do any more achievements for it. It's probably unlikely, but yeah,
2 more years of updates, and we might get Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
By the end of it, yeah.
Maybe this is the remaster.
It was Abstergo all along. Oh man, yeah. I mean, Ubisoft, yeah. But yeah, it was. I guess Ubisoft has to keep chugging along. Yeah. I guess this is my question to you guys. Do you think they're going to do anything more with Outlaws after this, or is this kind of it for them?
This is kind of a thing, though, wasn't it? So
yeah, because they promised 2 DLC packs plus that big rework that they did.
Yeah,
because this all got pushed back.
I think after that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting a sequel. I don't think there's much chance of that.
Yeah.
I think we'll get more Star Wars game. I mean, what was the movie with Ryan Gosling announced today?
Oh yeah, which again I don't think is actually ever happening. But
yeah, I don't know anything about that one.
No, I'm not a Star Wars fan. But
as someone who is a Star Wars fan, that might be the franchise that has the most announced and cancelled projects I've ever seen of anything ever. Disney just can't seem to lock it down in terms of being like, because like they have the whole like Mando movie that apparently is still happening. There was something happening with Taika Waititi was doing a movie. Ryan Johnson was getting his own trilogy when Last Jedi came out. That was a long fucking time ago. Like, there's so many things. Patty Jenkins was doing something that is maybe like a Rogue Squadron thing that is now apparently is coming back. But until I'm sitting in the theater watching it, I just don't believe any of it actually exists.
Yeah, okay. Is there a history of this Japan Star Wars celebration thing, or is there a reason they wouldn't do this in May on the 4th?
May the 4th? I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I don't know. There is a reason for it. I don't remember exactly what it is, though.
Would it be that they're trying to announce these things to start releasing some of that stuff a little bit?
Maybe. I guess like now is the time for announcements if you want stuff for the end of the year.
Yeah.
So that does potentially make sense. And you can only have so many things come out on May the 4th, I guess.
Yeah. Should we get into Zero Company?
Yeah, let's talk about Zero Company, speaking of Star Wars stuff.
So,
yeah.
Do you want me to
go
or you want to go? Yeah, so EA has officially announced Star Wars Zero Company turn-based tactic games from Respawn. I believe this leaked a few days earlier into the week as well.
Yeah, I think
we
mentioned it a little bit because there was a whole like Respawn thing kind of. I think someone leaked it like a screenshot. I think it was like one screenshot of the game. So like we didn't see we saw fuck all about it. But yeah.
The game will get full unveiling during the Star Wars celebration this weekend, with the event taking place in Tokyo, Japan, just said. EA said that players can tune in on April 19th for their first look at the game. Little was known about Zero Company, the developer of which was announced alongside Respawn Shooter and the third entry in the Star Wars Jedi. Oh wait, did they announce third entry?
No, I think they're just
they have announced that they're doing it, but they haven't there's no no key art,
they're
no
just
title.
Speculating on the end of that news.
But they just said they have announced that they are working on it. That was a while ago. That was basically right after Survivor. They're like, yeah, duh, it's a trilogy. Of course, we're making a fucking game.
Yeah. Funny enough, like, do you think that we'd actually get like a re-release of Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds?
Oh, these days probably not. But then again, I don't know. I mean, like what is X-Wing versus Typhoon? No, sorry, it was Empire at War. I think got some actual like updates a little while ago, which is again it's like super dead. I used to play that as a teenager. I don't know. I mean,
looking at the games, it was published by Aspyr on Mac.
That's true. Yeah.
At some point. So yeah. So it's like Aspyr have had their hands in this one.
We're saying Galactic Battlegrounds, yeah?
Yeah, the one that was built on the Age of Empires 2 engine. Yeah.
I've never seen this game before, and as an RTS player, that concerns me.
Oh, I love this game. It doesn't work. Like the problem is the game is broken because it's built on the Age of Empires 2 engine, but Age of Empires 2 is not built for flying units. Like that game just like obviously because there's none in history. And so the minute you get spaceships, the game is completely broken. Like it's just not built for that. I love it. I love it to death. And the expansion had like all the Clone Wars stuff in it. It was really, really cool. I love that game, but it would take a lot of work to get it kind of up to snuff these days. But to be fair, like they brought back Age of Mythology, they brought back Age of Empires. Like if they could work out the licensing part of it, potentially could bring it back.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder too how relevant RTS games are in this day. Like I love Age of Empires to death, right? But realistically, I don't see RTS games ever, getting their popularity back the same as like what it was in the early 2000s.
Oh god, no, yeah, like the sort of late 90s, yeah, for sure. It's no way it's happening, right? Like that genre basically died with StarCraft 2. Like StarCraft 2 was the last great RTS. And even then, that game had 2 expansions. It took many, many years to come out, and even then, it couldn't bring back the franchise is dead. The genre is basically dead. And as much as I enjoy it as a casual player, I don't have the game has quite a high, that genre has quite a high skill ceiling, in terms of the
Total War games have tried so hard.
Yeah, that's true, and with mixed results.
Like every game with mixed results.
Yes, exactly.
Different ones.
Every patch with mixed results, apparently. But I'm excited for like Zero Company again, like a XCOM style game with Star Wars shit. Like fucking, I'm on board. Like as someone who loves Star Wars, that's like that's probably the missing thing to get me really back into it. As much as I enjoy XCOM, again, another genre that I'm bad at. It does look like a lot of fun, but I definitely want to see more about it.
Sorry, you go, Kia.
No, I was just saying, like, with the announcement of, like, there was that Ubisoft one that was rumored as with the Tom Clancy series, I think.
Oh, yeah, there was something going on, like a tactics game there. Yeah.
And then with this one as, like, if it has XCOM elements, then, like, I don't know, it looks like that might be coming back a little bit, that genre, as the mainstay, like, tactic genre, like in Gears Tactics and stuff.
Well, I think a big thing is that, like, I think because Respawn are assisting with this, but I don't think they're the primary developer of it. I think it's like BitLocker or some other company working, if I remember correctly.
BitReactor.
Sorry, yes, I think it's BitReactor. Yeah. And like BitReactor is a bunch of like ex-Firaxis people, so like XCOM and Civilization and that kind of stuff. So I think it's probably going to be like in the same way that kind of Marvel Midnight Suns was very like it's XCOM but with Marvel, like XCOM with Star Wars, match made in heaven. Like I think it makes perfect fucking sense. So I'm assuming the achievements are reasonable and it's not ridiculously difficult, but it'll probably have an Iron Man mode and a bunch of other shit that's going to push me away from it. But I will probably.
Yeah, it's just going to be like tactics kind of.
Exactly,
situation.
like too hardcore even for me. So we'll see. But it's just nice. It's nice to see that Star Wars games are still coming out. They're still making them after the sort of dearth that we had where EA kind of owned the license and they just didn't make any of them. They made like Battlefront 1 and 2 and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Oh man. Want to get into Discord one?
Yeah, that's probably a quick one, but it's tangential related.
I thought it was gaming adjacent enough that I wanted to bring it up. So some Discord users now need to scan their face or ID to view sensitive material. It's testing an age verification system, which they basically just describe as an experiment, which is active in the UK and Australia in response to recent decisions made by local governments to restrict children from accessing sensitive material online. So to give you the short answer for this is that Australia, towards the end of last year, decided to bring in social media laws regarding children under the age of 16 accessing social media, and then just defining what social media was. I'm pretty sure Discord was included in that conversation as one of them. And then I think there was other conversations about like whether YouTube and that stuff was treated as well. This feature is basically acting in response to that, where you would have to get a scan of your face done, and then you would have to verify ID. I I don't like any of this because it just feels so invasive.
It feels very dystopian, right? Like it's like I get it because that's the law, right? But it's
Yeah,
I feel like we're like
I get they're doing this to cover their ass, but the fact that we got to this stage already just feels so wrong to me.
Yeah.
I mean, for the UK stuff, I believe it was in response to them cracking down on pornographic content. So I think there were. I'm trying to think what it was exactly. There was like rules and regulations coming out in regards to if you have a social media platform, children. I think it might have just been under 18 could not access any pornographic material.
Right, which is reasonable.
And that was yeah. Gone are the days of just entering this is really my birthday into a website.
January 1st, 1900. Yeah, I don't know. It does feel...
Actually, I want to ask you both a question. Whenever you get any type of pop-up that asks your age, I'm not saying pornographic, I'm just saying...
in general. I lie every time.
Every single time, I'm like, 1st of January, 1900.
Yeah, 100%. They're not getting my data for free. Fuck that.
I was like, I can't be stuffed.
I was literally born for that date. They got to figure that out. They need to pay someone else to get that data. All right, they should already know it, or they're not getting it.
I just give them to my data. They can have my data. What are they gonna do?
I mean, if they're not sending me a fucking present, they're not getting the data. That's what I'm telling you right now. Like, it's like if they need my birthday to send me something, that's it. You know, if I get a deal on my birthday, then maybe we talk about it. But
the only person that gets my data is Hungry Jackson. I get a free Whopper every single year.
There you go. Exactly, man. I could go for a Whopper actually. That sounds pretty good.
That's pretty much. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it is such a.
I mean, as a platform,
it's a stupid measure. Obviously, they're doing it to cover their ass, but what's to stop me as a 16-year-old? Or, you know, if I want to access Discord, 15-year-old me is just going to get my dad's license out of and not tell him.
Yeah, I don't really think this. I really does feel like they're just kind of like slapping something on there to say they're doing something, and I don't.
Yeah. Well, as a platform, it's basically like closed forums with dedicated rooms.
Yeah,
and you get there are a lot of opportunities to contact somebody like as a direct message, and but I mean they have stuff in place for that. It's like accepting it for starters. You can either talk to somebody and accept them for the DM or not. So I mean, so there are ways that they have put things in place, but I don't know if it's going to do a whole lot more.
I don't know. It really does feel like they just kind of need something, but the fact that it exists in the first place does feel really weird. I think.
I mean, any kind of protections is good. Like really, to stop, things happening to children.
Oh sure,
and, like,
but I think
recruiting and all kinds of, access to.
I definitely agree on that point of view, but like, realistically, I think there's so many knee-jerk responses to this kind of stuff that, like...
Look,
Actually, you know what is a good comparison? It's like the drug use in video games, that discussion of PAX that we were at a few years ago.
Yeah.
The goalposts are just ever so slightly moving every single year, and we don't have the policies and procedures to keep up with it.
Like government just all technology, right? And that's true across the world in so many places. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's so many things as of the last few years that I'm just like, we truly are in dystopia.
I mean, I feel like we're like 2 steps away from that 4chan green text meme of the drink verification can to play your Xbox game or whatever. I'll post it in the thing after this. Like it's, I feel like it's so close to that. And like, obviously it's a parody and that was years ago when the Kinect first came out, but it does seem fucking weird.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like I
I
don't want to get into a political rant here, right? But the whole thing is that like the whole like think of the children stuff, just anytime someone trots that shit out, they're always pushing some bullshit agenda. Like it's never actually about that.
Well, as Voddy puts in the chat, he wouldn't upload his ID to Discord.
Yeah.
So would you prefer like a face scan, which just looks for age factors, or would you prefer putting an ID?
The problem with that though is if you just have So if you did not have a beard at the moment, Keo, it would be passing you off as a 12-year-old.
That's true. They're gonna have to do a Leisure Suit Larry thing where they ask you questions about like the '80s history that you wouldn't know if you were like born after 2000.
It's one of those things though, like, you know, naturally some people look younger and some people look older. Like, it's going to be a case of, it's not, even with AI technology, I don't think it's going to get it right.
And how much you want to bet they're going to use every single image of the faces to train their AI tools? Like, and they'll say they won't, but of course they fucking will. That's the thing, is that like neither of those options are good options. It's like, yeah,
No,
give me your.
They won't. They'll just sell it to a third party that will.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean, right? Exactly. Like they won't do it themselves, but like, it's like, yeah, like give us your facial recognition tech, or give us your identity, basically. And it's like, yeah, you can look, you can join a R18 server if you do that. Like that is insane.
Yeah.
And like I know a shitload of Discord is for porn, and they have all kinds of shit all over that, right? Like there's the whole communities for it, right? But like, whatever. I think you're 100% right, Cameron. Like it's like people who are underage who want to find that stuff will find ways around this, and this will only really impact people who just really get fucking annoyed with it. And if they start like, look, when we're all sitting on the Nike mining colony out in space, I'm going to say I told you so, on my mandated 2-minute break every 3 years.
I mean, there's stuff that I feel like they should be focusing on education.
Oh, yeah. Again, there's so much. This feels like, yeah, like 100% like knee jerk, just slapping a band-aid bullshit, not actually just pushing the responsibility onto the platforms.
Put the blame on the companies and let them handle it.
And I'm never going to be the person to defend social media companies because they get away with a lot of fucking shit.
Yeah.
But I think in this case, Discord is not that's not the play for Discord, really. Like we're not talking about like Facebook or Twitter or like.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the stuff with Meta getting dragged through the courts in the US at the moment?
No, I haven't actually. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes, I did. Yes, there have been some stuff around
that. So, to give you one quick example of that, which I absolutely love, Zuckerberg preaches, Facebook is a platform for openness to connect people and everything. He wanted to, at one point in time, reset everybody so that they could re-engage people into Facebook and to boost numbers. Shit stuff like that.
Yeah, it's bullshit. That's always has been. Yeah. All right. What else we got?
Anyway, let's move on to a more happy story. Toys for Bob have come out and said they would love to work on a new Banjo-Kazooie game. The beloved Rare franchise has been missing for over a decade. In an interview with content creator Canadian Guy Hay, Toys for Bob studio head Paul Yarn was asked which developers or IP would the studio love to work on. There's so many, and that's one of the exciting possibilities of being independent. One company would love to work with... one company would like to work with, which is one we're already working with, Team Xbox. They've been a great great partner, and they could be very interesting roster of characters that Toys for Bob could have a lot of fun with. The Honey Bear is the first one that comes to mind. I think we can all agree Banjo has been hibernating long enough, right?
Which, yeah, that's fair. I mean, we kind of, when Toys for Bob sort of spun off to be independent, we did theorize like what they might be working on because they had some sort of deal with Xbox.
Yeah.
They sort of alluded to there. Whether that was the new Tony Hawk, which it doesn't look like it is, or if it was a new Spyro game.
More likely to be Spyro, right?
The rumor was that it was going to be a new Spyro game was the one that was in the works, but we haven't really heard anything since then.
You know what I would really like? I know they're spun up and made their own independent studio, but if they're working closely with Xbox, I'm wondering if we can get to a point in time where Xbox just says like, use our IP, make a Smash clone or something using our IP.
I can see that. Yeah.
I could really see Toys for Bob being in a position where they could really push forward on a really like mascot-driven game.
Yeah. Which
like Spyro, Crash, Banjo. I mean, what else would you bring into that? Like,
everything really. I mean, we've had some of these characters already in Smash Brothers, including Banjo.
That's true. Banjo was in Smash.
And we need something that is mascot driven, like across all of the Xbox stuff. I mean, I was been saying for a long time that I would have liked Forza Hot Wheels to have been, instead of just a random volcano biome and this and that, like just having the Hot Wheels stuff go through different Xbox themed biomes
That'd be
would have
really
been so
interesting,
much
yeah.
better than just a random island. So like there are so many things that they could do.
They're taking the X-Defiant
So-
sort of route. Yeah, of kind of, yeah, I get what
Yeah,
you're saying.
exactly. Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, again, I think that platform fighters are kind of a little bit out of vogue these days. You know, they're kind of since Smash Ultimate came out, and we haven't really had.
I mean, you do car race,
You
like
mean-
there's
Yeah, Car
many...
Racer. I think something would make sense. Like Toys of Bob have experience with that. Like, yeah, I think that
Yeah.
having something that is mascot driven for sure, I think would make a lot of sense. And having that kind of like smaller but still high quality kind of platformers, and yeah, like I would like a new Spyro game. I would be on that straight away, 100%.
You know what I'd really like for Xbox to do? I want, like, I've said for I don't know how many years on this podcast now that I want them to push forward with like kids level gaming.
Sure.
Really at the moment, the only thing that I think really takes the category is Minecraft.
Yeah, like yeah, that's fair.
Like which they've kind of, you know, they've got dungeons, they've got legends and all that. But I'd
Yeah.
really like Voice of Bob to like kind of grow into that studio that caters for everything else. Like, you know, with Spyro and those kind of IP, but
Yeah.
a lot of potential there.
Yeah, I don't know if we could get the same kind of Banjo game though. I mean, if you look at the Switch 2's getting that new Donkey Kong game, and it was different than what everyone was expecting. I think
Sure,
some
it's
people didn't
like an
the
Incredible
model and
Hulk
stuff.
game. Looks really interesting.
Exactly, like
That's
right.
what I
So-
kind of want them to move the franchise. Like, that's what direction I
Mm.
want them to move the franchise in. Like, what would you expect a Donkey Kong 3D game to look like these days? And I mean, I want to buy that relatively close to launch.
Yeah, or it'll come to Game Pass. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other IPs too that they could pull from that are less kid friendly. If we wanted to do the mascots, we could do Conker.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say Conquer is probably not a bad one. There's a few things in the rare bucket there.
Yeah.
They could do Blinks the Time Sweeper. Yeah. Potentially, I don't know.
Yeah, they could totally,
I would just
yeah.
like to see what
Psychonauts?
toys.
Add Psychonauts in.
Yes, actually, there's a lot of stuff from Double Fine that would work quite well. Potentially,
Yeah.
there's a lot of potential there for sure.
I feel like there's like you should have everything that Xbox owns, and then just have like certain studios just cover it. Like do your Double Fines, do your. I mean, going through like you have your Bethesda and like Cutify kind of stuff, and
Some kind of like celebration of Xbox game that would
like
be
a
really
chibi
interesting.
kind of version.
Sure,
of
I mean
all of
like
them.
fuck when you go through Doom, right? You get the little like toy versions of all
Little
those creatures and
touches,
stuff.
yeah.
And they did that like that Doom game, the mobile one, that was kind of like that as well. And shit, they did Funko Pops for Gears, so who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be something
Yeah.
interesting. But I do hope they're working on something like really fun and interesting rather than just kind of some generic shit that no one really cares about. All right, last couple of stories. Lords of the Fallen, which is again has a bit of a place in our heart because we played a lot of it. Is apparently getting a big fucking update. Of course, after we've basically finished with the game. So thanks, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So I looked at this. I was the one who found this morning, and I was like, "All right, this is a incredible update." But you know what? The first thing I thought to myself was,
What a wonderful world.
"What? Yeah, what a wonderful world." That's exactly it, right?
That's what you thought.
The first thing I was like, "I'm not mad at this because you know what? They've taken the response to the new Dark Souls game.
Yeah.
They've improved their current offering. No doubt this system will cross over into the second Lords of the Fallen game.
Sure, which they're currently working on, which I'm sure they're learning things of. Yep, it's a good point.
Yep. So I would fully expect, just to give you an idea of some of the stuff that they've adding into this. Where was that graphic? Probably in the Discord still, right?
It's in the staff channel, yeah.
Yeah, let me just bring that up. So I think that paints a really good picture. All right, just to list some of the features. So full shared progression co-ops. Both players now can save all mainline progress and can revive each other. So when me and Stubby originally did this, having to cross back and forth between each other's games was a bit of a pain in the ass.
And that's been the same in like the other Dark Souls games as well. It's been like when you join someone's game, you're just kind of there to hang out and help them, but you don't really get anything out of it.
Yeah.
So just having that full shared progression, being able to unlock achievements at the same time, that's going to be amazing. Past that, you get a free friends pass, so when you invite any friend to play with you for free across any platform, which I think is amazing. Get more people into the game. Refined combat and movement, dedicated jump button, character creation settings, improved combat audio, UI overhaul, revamped tutorial, auto vigor, and lamp guidance.
A lot of good quality of life stuff, yeah.
Dynamic HUD, guidebook, faster soulflay, and I'm wondering what that guidebook to could they have potentially fixed that? The main gripe that I had with the game was basically having an Excel spreadsheet open and just marking things off one by one.
Yeah, I agree. That would be nice if they had some more filters for some of their some of the items and being
that's
able
exactly what we did though.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah, we just went through and checked and was like, do I have this thing? Tick. Do I have this thing? Tick. It was very, very cumbersome.
Yeah. I mean, if they've addressed all those issues, I'm going to buy a Lords of the Fallen sequel day one.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked that game.
Yeah, me too.
Despite its, I don't say massive flaws. Yeah, despite its jank. Like, despite its shortcomings, Dark Souls and like Lords of the Fallen, like this kind of Souls kind of gameplay is something that I've always wanted to play. I just hate missable achievements.
Sure.
Like I hate looking at a guide constantly as I play.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're doing it with a friend, it kind of takes a lot of the burden off. But
when you have someone as good as Stubby who
run.
fucking knows everything about the game, that definitely helps too.
Yeah. Yeah, and, well, that was the best thing, really, right?
2 times.
That was we all did it with Stubby, and it was great time. So
I was the guinea pig.
Yep.
Yeah, first off the rank. So
all right, and then this last one is kind of what we talked about at the top of the show. It looks like the Oblivion remaster leak is like it's legit. They found screenshots that are on the developer's website.
Does it mention the other thing about the Bethesda AI chat?
I don't think so.
No. Okay, so I think there was a news story as well that people were asking in Bethesda's got an AI chat, just like when does this game come out?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, April 21st. It's like when I've seen like 3 examples of AI today just biting people in the ass. The first one was like the car dealership of, hey, can you sell me this car for $1?
Yep.
The second one was tech companies swapping their phone tree systems to AI and just more horrible results.
Yep.
Everyone's there.
Yeah, it looks like
if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so I guess we're apparently the deluxe edition is going to come with horse armor. So we're right back to where we fucking started because this was the game that started DLC and ruined the industry forever. Obviously, it'll almost certainly come to Game Pass day one. But it looks like they're calling it Oblivion Remastered, but apparently it is basically completely reworked in terms of like its combat system and there's some like apparently some Dark Souls elements. But yeah, I guess we're kind of
something about like the HUD and all that was like the biggest. I think I saw something. HUD and something else was like the biggest improvements that are coming to the game, but I don't think it's confirmed.
Again, nothing's confirmed at this point, but yeah, I get what you mean.
What was the rumor that I saw? Let me just find it.
I mean, from the screenshots, I'm very excited. This looks great. I mean, Shane and I were talking about this last week, and we were obviously day one on this because we love the franchise, but it looks pretty fantastic especially for a game from 2005.
Easier to understand HUD for new players, and then bunch of improved combat, including stamina, hit reactions, blocking, sneaking, and archery.
Yeah, which great. I think the combat is probably the thing that was the thing holding a lot of the Elder Scrolls games back a little bit. Like they've never been. The first-person combat thing's always been a bit of an iffy one. Apparently, they've changed quite a bit of it, so it's now much more playable in third person if you kind of want to play it that way. Because, like, if you try playing like Elder Scrolls or you put like Skyrim or Oblivion in third person from back in the day, very very janky. Like clearly the animations are not really made for that. Same as Fallout, obviously same engine, but
And they go pretty hard with the between third person and first person these days.
Yeah. So it looks like
pretty much required.
Pretty much, yeah. And a little bit of a Soulsy element stuff with some stamina bars and stuff. I'm very curious to see how this performs. I mean, is this coming out? Are they actually shadow dropping it like next week? Like,
I'm pretty sure Jeff Grubbin like confirmed it was coming out on the 21st.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about. Like, why? I mean, why would you shadow drop something like this when you have, unless they've got a lot more to talk about and they kind of want to generate hype for something else? Like maybe this is just.
I think there's so much more potential leading up to the showcase in June that we have. Yeah. But I mean, like, why wouldn't you keep that for the showcase?
That's exactly right. Unless you've got something else. Unless you got like a really good reason. So maybe this is.
Or maybe they just think that April just needs a little bit more to.
Potentially, but I mean, between like South of Midnight and Clear Obscura coming out in April, like it's a pretty stacked month. I don't know. It's interesting.
Doom next month, which
true.
Really
Doom looks really good. Yeah.
I mean, if they could just shadow drop it and sell some horse armor.
Well, that's what exactly. Yeah, just you get different horse armors. That's it. That's actually what they'll announce at the showcase. But yeah, speaking of Game Pass, we do have a few updates there. Cameron, do you want to run through those?
All right, I just want to quickly, before we get to the Game Pass things,
sure.
Those new Doom controllers look sick.
They do look sick. They do look pretty sick. Yeah.
I don't know what the grips are going to be like though. So.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to be gripping them hard because that game looks like it's pretty intense.
Yeah. All right. So Game Pass updates. We have games that have already joined on the 15th were Grand Theft Auto 5 in Standard, Ultimate, and PC Game Pass, and Hunt Showdown 1896 on Ultimate already, and then added to PC Game Pass only. April 16th, we had Neon White, added to Standard, SpongeBob SquarePants, the Patrick Star game coming to Standard, Ultimate, and PC Game Pass. 17th, we had Tempopo, which is unpacking and the Urban Assaults. Can't remember. There's Strain made game.
Yeah.
So that's their latest one, and Crime Scene Cleaner.
Crime Scene Cleaner looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. April 24th, we got Clan Obscure Expedition 33, which if you know nothing about, go and look up it, first of all, and then look up the cast details.
It's crazy.
Because you got like Ben Starr, you got Charlie Cox. Just finished watching the last episode of Daredevil Born Again the other day and loved it.
Okay, good. I need to watch that.
Yeah. April 29th, we've got Towerborn coming to Xbox.
I'll believe it when I see it.
For PC Game Pass. 30th, we have Far Cry 4 joining Standard, and May 1st we have Anno 1800 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Which one is this? Is this the?
This is the most recent one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So because they've already put 3 on there, and they put Black Ops on there day one, and so but 2 wasn't on there for some reason. They just didn't put 2. So
I wasn't sure if 2 remaster. That one's on there?
No,
maybe?
It's not either. I don't know. The remaster of 2 isn't.
No. I mean, it goes with the thing that they were doing with the hubs, right? How you can have Assassin's Creed, Shadows, and all of the other ones in the hubs, and you can switch between them within the game. This is the showcase for them. You've got the Call of Duty hub. You can switch between the games on the fly without having to.
Modern Warfare 2 was pretty good.
Games or, Yeah. Cameron, you and I need to go and do the co-op for that, so that would be a good.
There's only 3 missions. You guys can do it.
Easy. Yeah.
And then May 6th, possibly one of my favorite indie games ever is Stretch.
Yeah.
I highly recommend you play this when you have the chance.
I think it's pretty good. But yeah,
give the Aussie and Kiwis some love.
Yeah, definitely. I'm being facetious. I actually really enjoyed that game. Even if it is just Eldritch fishing. All right.
I need to go back and finish the Iron Rig DLC already.
That Iron Rig DLC is probably maybe the weakest part of that, unfortunately. I mean, it's fun.
The other DLC was pretty fun and quick, but
yeah.
Leaving Game Pass, we have a Nice Death, Kona 2 Broom, Sniper Elite 5, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, Thirsty Suitors, and The Rewinder.
It's a lot of good stuff on that list, to be honest.
Yeah. I played the Rewinder based on your guys' comments on it last year. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. Yeah.
That's a relatively quick one. I think that made, what was it, like top
that was
10?
number 10 in a game of the year, although I think
Yeah.
Kia swapped it out for Balatro after he played that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know if we officially did that, but basically I'm like, Balatro is still like...
Yeah, which I think is fair enough.
So, yeah.
But yeah,
I really like...
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, I really like the last case of Benedict Fox as well, but it was really janky at launch.
Apparently it's a lot better now with the definitive.
Yeah,
edition.
a lot of quality of life improvements.
Right.
First shooters you can get done in like 10 to 12 hours.
I'm going to probably give that a try once I'm finished with Sniper Elite. We'll see. I had some reservations about it, but I've seen some people complete it, and it looks relatively straightforward, except for some skateboarding bullshit, but I'll tough it out.
Yeah, okay. I was staying way away from Benedict Fox because I didn't think it had any major updates, but if it is fixed, it might help.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they put a lot into improving it. I know Welsh had a guide, but I don't know how much the game has actually changed.
Apparently some of the collectibles have been moved, but that's about it in terms of stuff that will probably impact your achievement hunting experience. But you shouldn't have too much trouble because it does the thing where it shows you if you're missing something in an area, I believe.
Yeah, I will say it's a very aesthetically pleasing game. Like,
I love the idea.
They get the vibe.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, the feel for it's great.
Yeah.
Kona 2 is also, I actually really like this. It's kind of like a walking puzzle simulator kind of game, but it is a direct sequel to the first game. Like it literally begins with like the first game ends, you're into the second game. But it kind of has some like, it's slightly more like quality of life stuff. They've obviously tightened it up a little bit to make it less survivally and more standard first person puzzler. Sniper Elite 5 I'll talk about in a second because I've been playing it, and then Have a Nice Death apparently has like a really bad save deleting bug, so I would avoid that.
Have a Nice Death was Games of Gold title, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think it came out after that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of another one.
No, it released 2023, so
yeah, it would have been
Games of
after.
Gold's
Yeah,
gone for a little bit longer. Yep.
You might be thinking of Blue Fire. But yeah, so Game Pass is real busy at the moment, and that suite of games looks like there's a shitload of good stuff in there. I mean, I'm probably going to play SpongeBob. I'll give that a go. Crime Scene Cleaner looks really, really fun. Clear Obscure, I'm obviously going to play. Towerborn, I've heard good things. Like, whew. And then
it is honestly a very, like, this month and next, I'm really excited.
Yeah, they're really trying to hit that like leading into summer, having some really heavy hitters when things are a little bit quieter, which I think is very, very smart. Then we've got our Patrons, patreon.com/AllTheGamers if you want to help support the show. I know I talk about it every week, shaking the tin, but a huge thank you to Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, Natola Letter, Mad Lefty, Admiral Awesome, Happy Mookles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mate Clown, Mace J, Left for Legacy, and McNulty. We couldn't afford to do the show without you guys, so thank you so much for your support. And if you do want to help support the show, any extra content that we do, like outtakes before and after the show stuff, we're going to be recording some Lights, Camera, and Action episodes. You can check out the Patreon. Feel free to join up as a free user for now. There's some extra content on there you can check out already that I've kind of made free, some of the older stuff. But if you do want to help support the show at any level, we give all that content to you, no matter what you give us, basically, because we don't want to gate that behind anything outside of just helping support the show. So if you want to give $2, you want to give $10, whatever you want to do. So thank you all so much for your support. And yeah, we'll have more content shortly. We're trying to make a real effort to make that worthwhile. Although I know a lot of people just support the show to help support us, so we appreciate that. And then we've got the bimestral burden. Keo, do you want to let us know?
Yeah. So we've been running the bimestral burden for March and April as Bring Out Your Dead. So basically completing games that feature undead, zombies, ghosts, vampires, and other spookies. So not werewolves, things like that. So it has
not
to be
werewolves.
undead things. Yep. So there's a couple of weeks left in that. So, and then we'll be moving on to the next theme with that as well. And that'll go for another 2 months. So,
and I think we'll announce the next theme next week. We've got a couple of ideas kicking around. We haven't quite finalized it yet. We try. I also want to maybe do a list of how many games might fit into that category, just so we got but we'll see. That's maybe getting too inside baseball, but we'll get there. So keep an eye out. All right, well, let's get into what we've been playing. I will go quick because I have two things that all I've had time for. I finished up Orcs Must Die 3, the base game with Stubby, the day it was leaving Game Pass. So very happy to have that done. I didn't think we were going to get there, to be honest. We managed to get 5 skulls in all the base game, all the regular levels, and then there's an extra campaign, which is like 5 very tough levels. And we had all 5 of them to do on that last night. And I was like, there's no fucking way we're getting all of them done.
Why did you rush yourself then if you know that you're going to have to do the DLC anyway?
Well, Stubby wanted to do it, and it was fine. It was like, all right.
Okay.
And we were like, all right, we're going to try and push to get it done. And because we also don't know when we're going to pick up the DLC. We're waiting for a good sale. So, the more I play the game, the more I enjoy it. And like playing it with Stubby was really, really fun. I think like it's a game that really needs to be played co-op. I've talked about it a lot over the weeks because it's been kind of like a project we've been working on. But like it took us like 25 hours. So I think it's definitely shorter than kind of what people are expecting. It is your sort of standard tower defense, but there's a lot of different variety in traps and upgrades, and you actually being a playable character in the world is very, very important. Like the weapons you choose, and you can get like trinkets that can kind of affect stuff like this. I had a staff that would petrify enemies for a little bit, which is perfect when they're standing in the middle of a trap and it's recharging. I was like, I'll stop them right there, and then I'll get by it again. But yeah, had a really, really good time with that. And we basically blitzed those last 5 levels. It took a few tries, but we did all 5 levels in a single night and got 5 stars in all of them. And it was definitely tough because this was when they started adding flying enemies. And it's like, well, shit, half my traps are like, ground traps or like things that come out from the side like grinders. So it's like, okay, well, now we have to reinvest in lasers, and someone has to sit there and shoot them to make sure that they get them all. But yeah, had a really, really good time with it. Looking forward to doing the DLC at some stage. I think the DLC looks relatively straightforward, but waiting for a good sale on that one. And then the only other thing I've really been playing has been Sniper Elite 5. So it's leaving Game Pass. I really enjoy Sniper Elite 4. So I've been playing a lot of Sniper Elite 5. Got through the campaign. I've got all the collectibles. And I've just finished doing Survival, the 3 survival maps. So now it's basically finishing Authentic and kind of grinding out those last few medals, which is a bit of a pain. Like the way they've done the medal system is kind of shit. But
yeah, some of those achievements just take way too long.
Yeah, it's like I get it.
It's annoying and that. Yeah,
it just kind of doesn't feel like it's a great. I understand that this game is very. Again, if you played one of these games, it is basically you get dropped onto a map. It'll take you about, if you're playing on easy, maybe like an hour, maybe a little bit more, an hour and a half to kind of go through, do everything. You can be sneaky, you can kind of not be sneaky. You have a lot of different stuff on that. You can use a sniper rifle. It's, again, if you play a Sniper Elite game, it is very, very similar to those old ones. But it almost has like a Hitman Light element to it, where it's like you can get different bits of equipment to do different things. There's certain ways to kill certain enemies. Like there's actually like a challenge in each level where it's like, hey, kill this general with like this type of weapon, or push this one into cement, or this poison this one. Yeah. And then it's also like, oh, as you find different areas, you find new entry points into the level when you redo them. And I was like, this feels very Hitman in terms of like setting up for my next go, or unlocking. And you have like a leveling system where it's like you unlock slightly new abilities, or you can hold more stuff. I was really, really surprised at like, oh, okay, this is like a mini world. The only thing is that like obviously you don't have like targets as such in terms of like people. You have like objectives to go and do, so it's a bit more abstracted. You don't get so creative in the killing. You get more creative in the sneaking, I guess. And you don't get to dress in a giant bird costume or anything like that and go through Mardi Gras. So it's not quite as good as like Hitman Blood Money, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I've got like 11 achievements left, I think, and so getting through an authentic will be a bit of a pain. But yeah, I'm having a pretty good time with it. And so I should hopefully get it done this weekend, because obviously it's Easter weekend, so I have a bit of time off, which is great. Yeah, and again, I don't really have a lot more to say about it. It is very much like by the book sniper game. But if you want to shoot Nazis, especially if you want to shoot Hitler in the ball for an achievement, you can do it. They always add it. It's
one of those games that you just know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And like
I forgot how much I enjoyed these kinds of games, like playing on an easy, obviously playing on an authentic, I think kind of gets a bit too hardcore for me, but just kind of having like a fun time of just like going and clearing out a map and just shooting Nazis and seeing slow motion of their brains fucking exploding and shit. It's like, it's just really like simple, dumb fun that you kind of sometimes lose out on games these days. You don't really see a lot of that in AAA these days. It's mostly in that sort of double space.
you don't need a guide. You can just go straight in and understand what the objective is straight away. And it's I really like the fact that they're mostly just sandboxes, like really good co-op sandboxes that you can.
And like I think like the size of the levels is like perfect. Like they actually like the sandboxes are like not over. There aren't too many collectibles. It's like 19 per level, and it's like they're relatively like if you've got a guide, you can get through it relatively straightforward, and it's pretty forgiving. And like I would definitely like recommend the series in general. I'm interested to play Resistance.
I was gonna say Resistance is not that different in terms of like what 5 is.
Sure,
but it's just the fact that it's way too janky.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've been umming and ahhing about 5. So I'm sorry about Resistance rather. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I would hold off on Resistance, but I think 5's perfect. Like I completed that I think back in Jan, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
And it's on sale at the moment for like 70% off for the base game. So if you want to give it a try, now's probably not a bad idea. If you're going to miss it, leaving Game Pass. But that's basically all I've had time for. It's been a bit of a crazy week. I'm just going to check to see if there's anything else that I've forgotten. Just been playing Yu-Gi-Oh, Phasmophobia, Tchia. Nothing super interesting. It's just kind of more of the same, really.
Time to do?
Yes, I own one of the Yu-Gi-Oh Legacy of the Duelists Link of Evolution game because I bought it was on sale years ago, and I was like, you know what? Like it's a really nice, easy, brainless game to just kind of put a deck together and just wipe the floor with everyone. So
I really hope we get that collection that went on. I think it was Steam and Switch.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Plastic ones. Because I can't think what the Game Boy Advance one was. There's some really good titles.
Yeah, I grew up playing a lot of those, usually not paying for them, but yeah, 100%. Like again, I enjoy card games quite a bit. I obviously enjoy Magic the Gathering as well. So it is nice when the computer does all the counting for me and keeping track of everything. So that makes things a little bit easier. But yeah, it's been a pretty quiet week for me. I did technically start Adamfall and I finished like a playthrough of that, but like I did the speed run, so not really. So I'm kind of need to put some proper time into that. But I'm also kind of trying to find some good guides, and most of them are like either in progress or kind of not really achievement focused. So we'll see. But yeah, that's me. Kia, what about you?
Well, I've been dabbling with a few things. Mainly for the Game Pass leaving, I did Botany Manor. I did the stack for that as well. So I started with PC, and then did a speed run that took me like an hour for the second playthrough on the Xbox. So, which is really, really nice to kind of just cruise through a game really quick. When you know all the puzzle answers, right? So the first time I took my time with it and really kind of worked all the puzzles out by myself. The problem with that, there was one achievement for basically filling out all of the correct clues.
Yeah.
And if you plant your last plant before you match up all the clues, then you potentially screw yourself out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it unlocked before or after. I went and redid all the clues. So basically going from page to page, each chapter has like 2 to 5 or 6 clues for each plant. You have to put them in the correct order. And I didn't need the clues.
Yeah, I
just went because, well, I mean, the first time, right? The first time I didn't need the clues. I just went through and read everything. And went, okay, this is here, this is here. I barely even looked at that book at all. Just working it out. It was kind of nice having a puzzle game where you just go and work everything out. It's quite simple and you just do it. But then I got to the last plant. And then I built the last plant and go, I thought there was supposed to be an achievement here. And then look at the guide for it, and it says, before you build the last plant, fill out the clues in the book. So I went and quickly filled them out, but turns out it had silent popped, and I just don't know if it was before or after. So, but I was lucky to get that one. When I played through it the second time, I definitely did the clues first before building that last plant. But I just went, plant by plant, pretty much the same order. I tried to go out of order for a couple, like, because you know the code to get in behind the bookshelf. You try to do this, and you try to unlock the lock on the door to the library, and you can't actually physically open it. I had the code input, but it wouldn't let me open it before
until you learned it. Yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Exactly. You had to get to the chapter mark before you could open it. So there was no way to go in a non-linear fashion through the story. Other than that, Zach, our friend, he has been pestering a couple of us for weeks and weeks and weeks because he needed like 2 achievements in Multiverses.
Ah, yes, okay.
And it's just like, oh, you can start this or you could start this, and eventually I'm just like, look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna use a dummy account like you want to load the game up and let you just kill off my character for like 169 matches or whatever. Like, I'll start the game, but I'll start the game on my own account, and then you have to sit through the 500 with me.
Yeah.
Which is basically just like a bit of a compromise here, right? And he's just walking off the edge and stuff at this point. But I got most of the achievements in the one sitting, just by myself before we started playing. And now it's at the point where all of the trackers have stopped tracking, and like everyone else, I'm like, is it working or is it not working? I've clearly met the goal for a couple of them, but it seems like it needs the tracker to start working again before it unlocks the achievement. So I know, Cameron, you've been through this as well. But to me, even though I've hit the requirements, it seems like even though the in-game it's tracked it, because I went onto there's like tracker.gg or whatever, and it says how many wins I've done, and it's tracking right to in-game. And I found that it might be that when you get the tracker to start working again, that it just pops those achievements.
That'd be good. So fingers crossed that just kind of cleans
exactly.
stuff up.
So I've used like 120 toasts, and I'm like, I just hope I don't have to get another 100 toasts because I've used up a lot of currency. If I have to get the toasts again to unlock the achievement, it's going to be harder because I'll be further through the battle pass and have less opportunities, right? So, yeah. Did you have any trouble with that, Cameron, or not really? They just kind of unlocked.
All right, not that I can remember.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll just work. But like those few achievements that you had at the start, where it was unlocking the 25 and the 50 throughout and all that kind of stuff, really.
Yeah, I totally understand. I don't know if it was the fact that
because it did that to me as well.
I'd previously been in the last season or the last build or whatever it was, and then like stuff was locking a lot earlier than it should have.
Yeah, that was exactly the same. So it didn't matter what type of move you did. It was throwing people out the left wall, the right wall, above, whatever. Everything was tracking for the same thing. It seemed like they were all unlocking at the same time. It wasn't until things started breaking that I was thinking like, okay, so if it's for 100 throwouts or whatever, then maybe you actually have to do the 100 throwouts and it's not unlocking it early. So it seems like it's taking longer because you're actually doing the amount that you need to do to get to the end, right?
And just the other ones are just early.
And the other ones are just, they all just spit out early, and then that's fine. So it's probably fine. But we'll see. I have to log in and get my new toasts and stuff, and I'm at like 80, I think, because I've gotten at least 90 or something just from the battle pass, just from going through the battle pass tiers, because you get the 100 currency as well, and you can get 30 for 50 currency. So there was a couple of easy ways to get extra toasts, which are basically just at the end of a match, high five somebody, something like that. So it's like, good job, whatever. So
would you recommend starting it?
Not for the stress of like knowing whether or not it will.
Yeah,
or
fair.
won't.
I think that's honest. Yeah, I think
It's
that's
just
fair.
there's so many things out there. It's like, oh, it worked here at this, do this, do your local save, do your online save. You download your save, load up the game again. Some people were.
I was gonna say, wasn't there something that I found too would break the game, break the tracking of achievements? I can't remember what exactly, but
yeah. Oh, it was if you do the last ring out in a match.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I come across that as well. And then some of the solutions were just go play another game mode. And I tried this with Zach the other night. He was 99% of his 500 party matches, and it was not unlocking. And one of the guides suggested just trying a different mode. And we went to Stomp, played a match, and unlocked.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like it needs to trigger like the conditions
like
in a different way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like if you've never played as Batman, do something as Batman or something. So it's like refreshing the system
Got it.
a little bit. So
Yeah, okay, I think that's enough from me.
yeah. Yeah, no, don't bother. Don't bother. I only started it to help Zach out, and I'm like, no. I'm not doing this with a dummy. I'm doing it with my main, and you're helping me.
Yeah, fair.
So, the only other thing I've been doing is I've been because I mentioned last time I was on that I picked up a racing wheel. So I have never really had a wheel that's had a shifter before, and I kind of this one, the PXN wheel I have has a shifter. It's pretty basic, but it has like the H grid of like your normal 1 to 6 gears, and then I couldn't work out how you do reverse and stuff. But you actually push in the stick and then push down on 6th gear, and then it goes into reverse. And I'm like, it's a little bit fiddly. So I discovered that I could just set the 3rd gear and the 4th gear to LB and RB, and then set the in-game LB and RB as the shift up and shift down, and then turned it into a sequential shifter, and it has been fantastic. It has been the best thing I've done for my racing games, like at all in years, and I'm shaving over a minute off my times.
Damn, all right.
Like, as in, like, getting times close to some of the daily, like, there's still up to 2,000 people on the daily leaderboards for the daily challenges. Everyone's just still doing it because it's a great game to play. And I was getting, like, on 7.5 minute tracks, I was getting maybe 8.5, and if I crashed, maybe 9 minutes. Like for whole runs of a track.
That's impressive.
And I got one down to like 7.5 minutes. This is like on par with, because you really like, it's so much better going, gearing down before a corner and then gearing up as soon as you get out of a corner to really take off. And yeah, it's been so good. Which I also tested it out in Forza Motorsport, which is where I started with it because I didn't like it had a bunch of preset wheels, and then you could make a custom setup. Like most games, you can just customize your own wheel setup and just choose where you want all the buttons to be. But you couldn't do that with anything in Forza that wasn't already listed, like the Thrustmaster wheel, the Moser wheels, all that kind of stuff. When I tried to set it up with some standard stuff, wouldn't work. I actually had to switch the wheel to controller mode, which is where you do the pass-through, and it basically acts as a controller instead of... So you've got your A, B, Y, X buttons on the front and your D-pad and stuff. None of that was working in that other mode, and Forza doesn't have a system that lets you map those if you're in a different mode. It's got some really basic settings for wheels. So I had to switch it to controller so I could use all the face buttons and then work out what to do about shifting, because for whatever reason the paddles on the back of the wheel weren't working in that mode either. So so in the wheel mode, as opposed to the controller mode, it wouldn't detect the paddles, the shift up, shift down, and had some. And so I switched it to the controller mode and then worked out the sequential shifting up and down, and I'm actually having a lot better time with Forza now.
Good,
so
yeah, because I know you weren't super impressed with it.
No, I'm still not super impressed with it. At least my save game's downloading and uploading this time.
That's good.
It fixed itself. And yeah, so, and now it's really good to do some familiar tracks, just kind of racing around, and at least that's a shining light in my completion, which, I've got to level up a lot of cars after, the update where they kind of nerfed that. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Well, that's me. Cameron, what have you been up to?
I was going to say, do you want to talk about Legends, or not really?
Yeah, let's do that, actually. Yeah, we might as well. That's what we've been doing together, so...
Yeah. So we're nearly through the Bastion group of enemies. We're just cracking on with it, essentially.
Yeah, so there's 3 sets of enemies. You've got the Horde of the Hunt, Bastion, and what's the other one?
I can't remember what the Sky one's kind of...
Yeah, it's like the Spire, or the... It was basically a poison mob of sorts, so... Yeah.
So we've just been going through that because it's good ratio. I'm I'm enjoying it, but on legendary difficulty, it's pretty annoying.
It's kind of not. It kind of takes the fun out of a lot of it. You just kind of bash your head against it. Yeah.
I mean, with us, it's just punching your head against the brick wall, trying to get through. We just constantly run out of lapis.
Yeah.
That's
lapis is the resource you get for defeating enemies, and you have to defeat enemies to get it. You get 1 per enemy you defeat, and like it's gotten to the point where I'm running around.
You're getting a chance to get 1 per enemy you defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. It's pretty good odds though. I'm basically going out and finding mobs in the world, and then just setting up a bunch of towers, like arrow towers, just to kill them and just get like some extra random stuff. We did work out how to get like it automatically building up coal, because that was where we were also having trouble too, because you need them for the creeper strat. For running like a bunch of creepers in to destroy the base. So we've got a constant supply now. So
I don't think the TA guide, like they paint a pretty good picture of what you should be doing, but I don't think it works for all scenarios.
Yeah, I agree. Have you gone around and got all 4 of the big golem dudes?
Yeah, we got Wake of the First. We're pretty much as soon as we get this done, I think we've got like 5 more bases for the hunt, and then just the end game kind of stuff.
Hunt is fucking annoying to try and get the actual boss for it, because there's like special condition stuff for it, which is very annoying. But,
really?
Okay. Yeah, because the boss only shows up when he's raiding a village, as opposed to just being able to go fight him. So you need to figure out what village he's going to show at, build a bunch of defenses, and just kind of wait for him. Took Aftos and I quite a few tries, but he keeps, whenever you damage him, even if he runs away afterwards, he still keeps that damage, so you can kind of wear him down.
Okay.
Well, they're saying to like save the towers that we collected too until we do that, and then you get that achievement at the same time. But otherwise, like I've really enjoyed Legends.
It's just it's grown on me heaps. Yeah.
It needs a better tutorial. It does not really explain what you're doing.
And control-wise, it's a little bit finicky.
Yeah, and we would be playing this completely differently if we'd known what we know now.
Yeah.
At the start. So,
yeah.
All right, I'm going to breeze through my games then. So, Legends, I would say, is the main thing I've been working on with Kyo. I had Persephone for most of the first week of the school holidays. So, I've been trying to aim on... I've tried to aim on playing games that were more kid-friendly, which led me to go, all right, I should actually clean up the last 3 missions for Human Full Flight, because I don't think they're adding any more file updates. And man, the ratio for that game is pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
So I booted up. I put a call out in Discord to see if anybody would join. Chris, no later, decided to join in. And then Persephone is like, yeah, this game looks fun. Can I join in, Dad? I'm like, yeah, sure. We'll put you on the Series S. We'll set you up and all that. Then proceed for the next 2 hours for a 6-year-old to bully a full man.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm pretty sure Chris got to a point where we did 3 levels, right? And I was just following the guide, getting it all done. Chris at the very start was like, yeah, I will help to the best of my ability kind of thing. I think he was like mostly there, right? And then I just see my daughter just being an absolute bully to him, pulling him off the edge, all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, it's fine. I'll do the solution.
He was babysitting, basically.
Essentially, right? We did like 2 levels of that, and then I think it just got to the point where, all right, Persephone was pretty much like, nah, I'm kind of done now, Dad. And I'm like, yep, that's fine. At that point, we were on, I think it was the underwater level, which I think is relatively easy, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
He was checked out. That whole time, I'm just like, oh, yep, he's still at the start of the mission.
Yep.
But I was like, all right, he did get bullied by a 6-year-old. It's fine.
Yeah.
It was
fair.
I mean, usually I'm like, man, you should be helping right now. But I'm like, man, I'm probably the instigator for this.
Yeah, I understand the trouble with your daughter, because the whole time you guys were playing Split Fiction, I wasn't even playing the game, and she was bullying me.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. Yep.
We really struggled to like know the difference between Neo and Kyo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she can be a bully.
It was very funny actually because I was Alison and Sherry are playing through it at the moment, and so I'm getting to bits where I was like, I'm seeing them do the bits, and obviously I'm trying not to backseat game too much. But I was like, oh yeah, I did this bit with Persephone. And I'm like, oh, how did that go? I was like, well, it took a while to kind of understand what to do, and which button was which, and not to run in the wrong direction, and not to shoot me, and not to push me off the edge. It was I'm having a very similar experience.
It's funny too, like watching a younger version of you play games for the first time. But like, she really struggles when it comes to double jump. But I think for Split Fiction, she was actually doing really good.
She did pretty well, actually. Yeah. Once she kind of got there.
What I would expect a 6-year-old's gaming level to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm gonna plug it again. Split Fiction is like such a good game.
Yeah,
highly recommend it. Outside of that, so talked about Legends, Human Fall Flat. I played South of Midnight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Leading into it, I was like, all right, I don't think this is going to be too dark that I can play it in front of it. Man,
it's got some real heavy subject material, that game.
So never have I can't think of the last time I left a game where I've just like sat down with Nikita and Persephone and just been like, this is what happened in this chapter and why it's bad. Like the child neglect in that, like the themes in that game are so strong.
Right.
It comes from a real like, place of reality, like stark reality.
The only I would say that the gameplay is simplistic.
It's
like
fine.
The combat is very passable. But man, like that game just stays with you. Like I love the music, I love the storytelling, I love the aesthetic of it. I like, especially I would say chapters, the second chapter with the brother in the tree.
Yeah,
I thought that was like, I'm just trying to explain to her like why that's bad, and you know all that. The alligator.
Yeah,
like they did some really good storytelling. The only achievement I got left is defeating Molly without taking damage.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that was not too bad.
I keep on getting the third phase and then just getting.
Yeah, it's tough. That would take me a while.
I don't like the fact that you're like, it should be relatively simple, but the fact that you're traversing and everything as well added into it. The fact that you're working like 7 to 8 minutes to get back to that point.
Yeah, the fact that they weren't checked, there aren't like sort of like save points in each individual stage for all the boss fights. Really, I feel like is just kind of an oversight from like a quality of life point of view.
Okay.
It's not a matter of... Sorry, you go.
Sorry, it's not a matter of once you defeat a boss, is it dead? You can't repeat
it. You can restart the chapter, so you can do the chapter again, but you got to get back.
It doesn't take that long, like after you claim like the collectibles and that.
Yeah.
I would say the Gator was probably the hardest.
That one took me like 2 hours, which I'm embarrassed about because when you get it, it is a 5-minute boss fight.
Yeah, it should have been a 5-minute boss fight. I remember like, no, I'm gonna stay at home, not gonna go on my walks today. I'm gonna do this for a good 2 hours, and then I think within 10 minutes, the girls went down the street and had a girls' day. Within 10 minutes of them coming back, like 2 hours later, I got it.
Yeah, that was about the same.
And I was like, okay. I was just like +5, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, I want to see more of this game. I want to move ahead, but also the problem is that the boss fights are at the end of chapters, so it's like, well, I don't really want to have to play through the entire chapter again to get just up to do this fight again. So I'm like, I'm going to sit here until I get it.
Yeah, I was the exact same. I just got to the point with Molly. I'm just like, I've had enough. I love this game so much that I want to keep going.
Yeah,
I will just suffer. I mean, going back to the chapter, realistically, it was like 5-10 minutes to get back to that point.
Sure, because once you have the collectibles and you know that,
yeah. I mean, the only other thing with that game, they shouldn't have. I mean, should never have achievements that deter you away from playing your game.
Yeah,
essentially. I will say the second thing was I had a quick panic because I'm trying to think what achievement it was. I think it was one of the floofs. No, it was one of the readables didn't pick up for me the first time around.
Oh, okay.
And I noticed when I read the guide that somebody had the exact same issue with me, but in a different part of their save. So I'm wondering if maybe they don't always register the first pickup. I went back and picked it up again, and it's fine.
Okay.
But if you do that chapter select, it shows the amount as full. But if you go in game into the lore book and then look into that particular chapter, it will tell you what you're missing.
Got it.
So one of it was crossed off, one of it wasn't. So I had to do a little bit more research to figure out. But other than that, fantastic game. Highly recommend. They, like I've said multiple times before, this is the stuff that should be coming to Game Pass.
100%. Yeah, totally agree. Like this is the level of game that I liked it. Like a relatively short, interesting, well-made experience, great art style, great music, all that great stuff. I think I've been saying it like it reminds me.
Game of the Year list?
I don't think so. If it is, it'll be towards the bottom. I think it's good. I think it's like an 8 out of 10. It is a great game, but I don't know if it's like the simplicity of the combat mechanics. And I was talking about this with Shane last week. I was kind of waiting for the platforming to kind of evolve a bit more or get a bit more difficult. Like I was waiting for that. Like, okay, you're at like the last chapter. Here's the tough platforming section, like where you got to string all your abilities together, and that never really happened.
It wasn't tough, but it still felt eventful.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, yeah, it was still, yeah, exactly. Like I'm with you. Like I think it felt impactful, but I just kind of, I was hoping like there's a clock tower part that I was like, okay, this is when they're going to make it really difficult. This is like the 10-minute part where you're like, fuck, this is, I got to string these abilities together. I got to move fast. I got to do this. And like, it just kind of never really happened. I think my only other issue,
I thought it was fine. Like actually, no, I don't want to say it's fine. I thought it was good. Yeah. I really enjoyed the last chapter.
Me too. I love that whole last bit. Yeah.
I think did you feel like the last bit of the game was contrast?
Yeah.
Like it felt like this setting.
Yeah, actually, it's a good. I didn't think about it at the time, but it makes perfect sense. Yeah. I also
felt like how much I've reused.
Oh no, I think it's. I think there's some concepts
or inspired, I should say.
Inspired, yeah. But obviously they've made, yeah. But I think that, like I said last week, so I won't rehash it. But I think two things. I think it reminds me a lot of the original Psychonauts and a bit of 2, where it's like platformer, basic combat, interesting story, really good art, really good music, dark themes, interesting kind of things going on behind the scenes, like kind of interesting mythology stuff. In a way that I was like, oh, cool. I really feel like I wish I want more of these kinds of games. My only other thing was that the sort of the ending kind of era, like the last kind of act of the game kind of feels quite rushed. Like it really feels like it could have done with a couple more chapters. Like that last area, I'm like, this is cool. I want to see more of this. And then we're like, and we're done. I was like, oh, okay. Kind of lackluster final boss. And then we're kind of done with the game. I was like, I feel like it could have done a couple more chapters maybe or something. I don't know. But yeah, overall, I really liked it.
I mean, most of the stuff too that I gravitated towards was like the storytelling and like each particular chapter.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Even if it kind of makes me wonder of like if we had like an anthology game of like folklore tales and all that,
could be really interesting. Yeah, it did. This game definitely feels like it's got more to tell. You know, like I feel like this is. I would not be surprised if they do a sequel to this.
Yeah,
or even a DLC or something. Yeah.
Yeah, just more content to kind of put upon it. Other stuff that I've been working on, I'll just quickly go through. Marvel Rivals had their Season 2 update, which I did 3 of the achievements legit before getting a boosting session to do Human Torch and Emma Frost achievements. Human Torch is to get 3 KOs with his Supernova ability. It's just very awkward to, very slow moving, controlling flight. You've got a B button ability that like slightly speeds you up for 2 seconds, but it just feels... It's rough, right? And then the other one, Everfrost, is the ultimate lets you mind control. And you have to do it on a group of... you have to do it on a mutant, but you have to do it 10 times.
Oh, okay.
So it's just easier to knock that down in session. So we did a session today. I was a reserve member. I was goody 2 shoes, and I messaged the person hosting the session being like, hey, my name's Cameron. Do you need any help? Like, you know, I'm the reserve here. If anybody falls short, feel free to message me straight away because you know, even though I'm third on the list, I'll be first here. I wanted to clean this game up. So they're just like, yep, we can slot you in. That's fine.
Cool. Nice.
Man, I love it when I host sessions and not when I'm a part of a session.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've done a session because I just don't really do multiplayer anymore. But, oh boy.
So the first 4 comments I put in the first half an hour of the session, I'm just like, all right, Marvel Rivals is great in comparison to Overwatch, where Overwatch is kind of like everybody works their achievement going for the list one at a time, so nobody else messes up. Marvel Rivals is great because most of these people are going for the 5 achievements that come out with this update.
Sure.
And you could play as Invisible Woman at the same time, shield one of the characters, get your assist, and still be partly working or something, and then we can swap up over the next rotation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We got to like an hour and a half into the session, and they're just like, "Oh, can I do Invisible Woman now?" It's like, you didn't hear us comment this 4 or 5 times at the start of the session now, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. I'm just like,
sounds about
right. You know what, though? It's good when people play on Singapore servers because, my connection's pretty decent.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, Singapore server's good. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it was a quite funny session. I think one of the guys is just like, oh, like after I swap off to this character, can I do it? I'm like, mate, what are you doing? Like, you had the opportunity, can't do it anymore. And he just freaked out. I'm like, no, I'm an Aussie. I'm putting in your leg. Like, what do you mean you can't do it? It's fine.
That's funny.
Marvel Rival sessions, though, I would say if this is a game that you're interested in starting, and you can get a group of 12 people together with TA boosting session, it's very easy to find a match. It's not like Overwatch. Usually split into groups of 6, search for Singapore at the same time. Within a second, we get into the match.
That's right.
I don't know if that will always be the case. I don't know if Overwatch was good like in the early days, but other 2 games I want to quickly touch base on. I went back to Minecraft 360 edition because I had, I want to say, like 5 tile updates to clean up, and they all have a really good ratio. And I guess with Minecraft achievements, just ratio is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Lights Up is able to help people with these. He messaged me, I think it was like on Saturday or Sunday morning. I wanted to drag Keo in, but he had already left for work.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, I'm available. Do you want to join in? So he has a save that is not that dissimilar to what the early achievement worlds were.
Yeah.
But I think he like scrubs and resets after everybody's.
Gotcha, which makes sense. Yeah.
So everything can be attained in some kind of system with that world. However, I did for example, there was meant to be a thing that summons Gus there. I couldn't find it, so I ended up just breaking to the Nether where he was hiding and destroying a Gus and that kind of I worked around it essentially, but that was pretty easy. The only thing that it doesn't help with is the aquatic update, which you can easily get with the tutorial now.
Makes it super easy,
Yeah, good ratio. And then the only other thing I've been working on is Age of Empires 4 has some really good ratio achievements. Base game, pretty tiresome. There's masteries you have to do for each civilization. So I just bought the DLCs, and I've just been doing like the win 1 match, summon 5 of this unit, and destroy. Yeah. Pardon me. But yeah, really enjoying it in terms of just cleaning up quick and easy stuff, and that's pretty much me for the last fortnight.
Great. Oh, nice work, guys. I gotta play some more fucking games. I did buy a bunch in the sale, so I'll hopefully have some more to talk about next week. We've also got the word challenge, everyone's favorite competition where I come up with a game and you have to guess what it is. And so each week I give away a new clue, and if you go onto the Discord and put the name of the game in, a GIF usually pops up. Sometimes if it fucking works, because the bot's a pain in the ass and sourcing GIFs is really difficult because I try to be a little bit creative. But we started with a new one last week, and the first clue was this game has its own language. The second clue is this game is part of a multi-game series. So this is a franchise. Let's go out there. This isn't a one and done like one thing you've never heard of. This is probably something or at least you probably know the franchise, or you probably know something about it. It's relatively well known. So that's your clue. very curious to see. I've seen some good guesses, especially a lot of indie games guesses, which is again probably not going to be what this is going to be like. So curious to see how that.
I'm curious if anybody's guessed the game I'm thinking about right now. Because there's 3 games that came to mind straight away.
Yeah.
Can I guess?
You can guess in the channel. Sure, you get 1 guess per hour, and if you get it right, the gift pops up and you win a prize, $10.
You know what? The first game I thought of was Science of the Soldier now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sure, yeah.
Probably not.
I can see what you're saying there, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Hall of Gamers leaderboards, which is where you can go and see how much gamer score you've earned in a week. I'm number 4 this week with 3,690. I don't know how that happened. But in third place we have.
We're like 4th, 5th, and 6th.
We are 4th, 5th, and 6th. Nice, good work, guys. And then in third place we have a Grey Shark with 4,840. In second we have Mephisto for the win with 15,090. And in first place, Thrash Forever with 19,330. And so if you'd like to join, let us know. It's a leaderboard on TA. You can just send us we'll send you an invite. You can join, get on the list, and show off your stats.
You know what we should do? We should make a ratio leaderboard. Can you make ratio leaderboards?
Oh, maybe. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Oh.
You can have a look. I have done it again. That TA leaderboard is old as hell. We've had it for a long time.
I'm just thinking, like, we always recognize, the gamer score hitters. Do we recognize the ratio people?
Yeah, I suppose
it's probably going to be the same 3 people.
It'll be the same 3. Yeah, exactly. It'll be one person who earned 1 really high ratio achievement. That's all they do for the week.
Well, maybe it can be a ratio shout out for the highest one for the week.
Yeah, we can do that. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. And it have to be on like even just that leaderboard. You could maybe whatever the lead achievement is that's the highest.
Yeah, I like that idea. Completions.
I can edit the leaderboard to be TA ratio.
Okay, all right. So we can make a new one.
What's your achievement?
Yeah, I don't. TA scores. I'm not interested in. That's literally just made up.
Completion percentage.
Completion percentage. Yeah, but then it's just Firehawk's going to win every week.
Yeah, that would be very rigged.
I was going to say I'm probably going to be sitting at like 4th, and I'm never going to move. Keo, do you want to read through completions? Speaking of completion percentage.
So Leafclaw finished Batman Enemy Within. Rapture finished Harold Halibut. Ickle Ronikins did Assassin's Creed Unity. Red Ninja Den, actually first time completion I think on the channel is Monster Hunter Wilds. Recently found
that's a crazy good completion too.
If that is the first completion you're posting on our channel, that is a good one to lead on.
It is. Yeah. So you've got to
we have another Baron on
now. Yeah. Right. So yeah. Natolinator did Halo 5 and Forza Horizon 4. Finally got like a really good lobby with like 4 people or 5
for the Eliminator, which is crazy to me.
That is such bull.
It is bullshit, right? I agree. I was looking. I was like, that's some fucking bullshit. Come on, I can beat like 50 fucking people.
Got to take the win. That is.
Look, a win's a win. That's fair, but still, fuck you.
Yeah. Vex173 did Borderlands 2. Bulbasaur did Dauntless, which is also fantastic.
Another excellent completion.
It was like 306 hours, and I don't know if that's like the full time.
They're shutting that game down, so he's
a ratio.
I think it was like a 5 point. It was big. It was. Yeah, I'm doing this.
Don't bother starting that now.
No, definitely don't start that game now. Yeah.
Go do
about 9 point. Yeah, it's like a 4 ratio because it's 2,000, but yeah. 9,500 TA.
Alpha D Pills here did Modern Warfare 3 on the 360.
Yeah,
as well. So
good old days.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, nice job, everyone.
I've got like 1 pack to do in that game. I really need to do it.
I've been really wanting to play the Modern Warfare 2 remastered campaign that they did because they did it for COD 4 and I did it and I really enjoyed it and I was like, I want to do the remastered 360 like remaster up to Xbox One, but it never goes on sale obviously because it's such a weird niche thing.
It was one of those weird ones where Sony had gated that and I think Modern Warfare for like Call of Duty.
Right. Yeah.
They gated that one and then the second one and then it was supposed to be the third Modern Warfare 3 was supposed to be on PlayStation as well, like before anything
And
else.
it just never happened.
And that never ever happened. So it's a bit of a weird one. So whatever is going on with that second one, yeah, it just needs to hit Game Pass or something.
Yeah, I thought it would by now, but I may just end up buying it because I do want to play it again because the campaign is fantastic for those games.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much going to bring us to the end of the show. As always, you can catch us on Twitch, Xbox All Gamers, as always, when we stream the show live, usually on a Friday night or Friday New Zealand and Australian time. Otherwise, when we have the US guys on, it's usually on a Saturday, Sunday. So jump into our Discord, keep your eye out on the channel. We always try to tag it when we're going live. We also do the show on YouTube, so if you are listening to this on audio and you want to see our wonderful faces, you can check out the old videos there. Once the VODs have disappeared from Twitch, I try to clean them up a little bit. And Char does a wonderful thumbnail each week, so you don't want to miss out on that. But that's pretty much it. Cameron, you got anything you want to promote?
No. Have a good Easter, everybody. I celebrated mine 2 weeks ago, but everybody keeps reminding me that Easter is actually this weekend, so celebrate Easter.
It is this weekend.
Stay safe. Drive safely. Watch your demerit points.
Eat as many chocolate eggs as humanly possible.
I've seen some shit today on the roads.
Yeah.
Just
everybody forgets how to drive the day leading into a public holiday where the shops are closed. I'll tell you that.
I was going to say, they also forget how to shop at a fucking supermarket, I'll tell you. You think you were closing down for a week.
Yeah. All the Aussie and Kiwis, I would say, enjoy your 2 long weekends in a row.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Kia, what about you?
Really not chilling anything at the moment, but you can catch me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Discord at Kia Live at Home. On YouTube, you can find my videos and past streams at How to Fix Gaming.
Great. And I'm Neomaster on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord. As always, a huge thank you to our patrons, our live viewers, listeners at home, and my wonderful co-hosts. That's episode 165. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
All right. Peace out.
Catches.